Hi.
Has Sarah said anything to you about me lately?
No, why?
Do you think she's upset that I'm staying at the house?
Well, if she is, it's only because you're staying in my room instead of hers.
I don't know about that. Now, see, I saw her in school today, and she practically took my head off.
She's probably just annoyed that you haven't asked her out yet, now that she and Nicholas are no more.
Sarah and I we weren't meant to be. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just thought that guy was staring at me. Guess I'm a little more nervous about going back to work than I realized.
You think the guy that raped you is gonna come in here?
I could serve him and not even know it. Every time a man looks at me now, I think, is this the guy? Is he gonna lie and wait for me when I leave and then try it again?
You know what? I could just hang out here this afternoon. After your shift's over, I can walk you home.
Thanks. I'd really appreciate that. You know, I was feeling so much better after we went to the police, kind of like I was getting my life in control again. But the truth is, I'm the same wimp I always have been.
Don't say that. Don't ever say that. Getting raped is not like falling off a horse. You don't just get back on and ride off and it goes away. Look at me. You were violated. Not just your body, but your spirit. Somebody took something from you, something that does not belong to them. Something they have no right to. If I ever find that guy, I swear to you.
Please. I didn't mean to upset you.
I can't help it. Every time I think about it, I want to get my hands around that guy's throat and strangle him.
Maybe it's not such a good idea that you stay here. It's only gonna upset you more.
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm positive. I can make you a root beer float before you start your shift.
Oh, well, better make it an iced tea. I start in a few minutes.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
You know, I was standing right there the night it happened. Just yakking away with Deanie. And Sarah going on and on about Nicholas this and Nicholas that. Then that jock, Chad Rendell, walked in. A bunch of the guys from the basketball team. I went up to him. I asked him if he'd seen you, and he looked at me like I was nuts.
I don't know why I lied to you about that. It was stupid. He doesn't even know me.
If only he had walked in just a little bit earlier, I could have gotten to you before.
Lucky, please. Please don't ever think that this was your fault. I had no business in the park at that hour by
What are you
myself.
talking about? You had every right in the world to be there. I should have met you at the dance like we planned. That's it. Besides, I think we might have had a good time.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
It's all yours. Oh, thanks. Judy calls.
Well, you're a sight for sore eyes. How are things?
You're gonna try and pump me about why I'm staying, forget it.
Okay. Am I allowed to ask you how you're doing?
Fine. I'm back in school.
Good. At least I don't have to worry about you riding the rails and getting hurt. God knows where.
So, how are things with you?
Truthfully, not so good.
I heard about Tony.
He goes on trial today. And he could end up spending the next 40 years in prison.
You know, maybe this thing with Tony isn't as bad as you think.
Well, I guess that depends on how you define bad. I'm not sure I can be objective enough to analyze this right now. How's Liz?
Still shaky at times. You know, she's actually okay when we're alone. But out in public, she's still edgy, jumpy. She thinks every guy she sees is the guy who raped her.
I think it would be a good idea for her to get into a support group where she could talk to other women who've been through the same thing.
She already went to one. She didn't like it.
Well, then I think she needs to go back. I'm going to suggest that very thing. Excuse me. Hi, Liz. Do you have a moment to sit down?
Oh, actually, I just started my shift. And after all the time I've missed, I don't think Ruby would appreciate it.
Don't worry about Ruby. Come on, let's sit down and talk.
It's okay.
Lucky tells me that you're still having a hard time.
I really don't want to get into this.
Just hear me out, okay? What you're feeling is perfectly normal.
There's a frightening thought.
Liz, you've been through a very traumatic experience. And there must be a lot of stuff going around in your head. Things that are very difficult to sort out by yourself. You need to share these things with people who can understand because they've been where you are.
I went to that support group. The women were very nice, but it just didn't work for me.
And how about talking to Gail Baldwin privately?
You mean like going to therapy? I don't think so.
Gail can help you.
I'll think about it.
Wait. Listen. I know how difficult it is to try to open your soul up to a stranger. I went to see Gail once, a long time ago. I'd never been in therapy before, and I was skeptical just like you. She really made it easy for me.
But isn't she a close friend of my grandmother's?
Yeah, but she'd never divulge anything you tell her. Please, let me make an appointment for you. You could always cancel it.
Okay.
Great. I'll get back to you. Hey, take care, okay?
Hi. I owe you an apology. I was completely awful to you today in school. I have no right to talk to you that way.
Don't sweat it. Elizabeth told me about Nicholas.
Yeah. Well, tried to warn me, didn't you? I was too busy being impressed by moonlit rides on castle grounds and all that European charm. I should have realized I was way out of my league. I will completely understand if you feel an overwhelming urge to say I told you so.
Grilled cheese and a diet soda. Sure you don't want fries with that?
Do you want anything? My treat.
Well, you can't refuse an offer like that. How about a jumbo burger, some fries, and a nice thick shake?
I'm okay, thanks.
Okay.
I'm sorry about you and Nicholas.
Well, forget Nicholas. I'd rather talk about us.
Us.
You really have to let me do something to make up for being so blind. You had every right to call me on it the night of the dance. I behaved like a complete idiot.
You like the guy. You know, it happens.
Lucky, I'd really like to make things up to you.
Mr. Murdy.
Hey, Lucky.
Hey, man.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
You mind if I have a word with you?
Yeah, I got some homework to do, so have a seat.
So, Mr. Murdy,
You mind if I sit down?
no, sure, go ahead. Is there a problem?
Well, as a matter of fact, there is. I've noticed a marked change in your attitude these last few months. You don't participate in class discussions anymore. And frankly, your written work has become merely adequate. Is there something going on in your personal life that's affecting your schoolwork?
No offense, Mr. Murdy, but isn't this a little outside of your jurisdiction?
Well, I usually don't get involved with my students' personal lives, but you're one of my best. I don't want to see you ruin any chances of getting accepted into a top-flight college.
I appreciate your concern. I'm fine.
This has something to do with Nicholas Cassadine dropping out of school, doesn't it? I know that you two were very close.
I really don't feel comfortable discussing this with you.
Okay, let's just stick to schoolwork then. Starting next week, I want you to meet me after class every Tuesday for an hour until you are back on track.
I beg your pardon?
I expect to see you in my office next Tuesday, and be prepared to discuss The Catcher in the Rye in depth.
Mr. Murdy.
Not another word.
Elizabeth, what's wrong?
I just remember what he said when he grabbed me in the park. Not a word. That's what he whispered in my ear, in this really deep, gruff voice. The way you'd speak to a child who'd misbehaved. Oh, God, I've been racking my brain ever since we went back to the park. Oh, my God.